Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. We're here with Team Hexacana and we got Robbie with us. And we are going to check out his deck and see what he has for us today. So strap in, let's get to it. Alrighty Robbie, so what do you have for us tonight?
Well, so my deck is an amalgamation of just different archetypes, mostly involving dragons, because I like dragons, and a spellcaster archetype. And I came up with this myself because, people be doing too much, and I like to do too much. And I like to have answers for things that people don't think of. So, the main two parts of this are Dracotail. So, for that ratio, I run 3 Azamina. Mostly because it's your poly. It's your poly, and it acts as a poly, and it also acts as a target for fusions through Malulu, because it turns off effects when it's sent to the graveyard. So let's say they eat it with a bystial, you can chain Malulu turning off the bystial. So like, let's say they do Magnamute targeting Malulu, you can chain Malulu to the Magnamute going, negate the Magnamute's effect so they can't get a search. So they may have eaten it, but they didn't do anything. And it's also a quick effect fusion.
Huh, a nice quick out to bestials.
Yes, it is. And then 3, Lucius. So Lucius is your searcher. It searches any Dracotail monster and adds it to your hand. Also, all 3 of these, like all the Dracotail monsters, they all set spells and traps.
Oh.
1 Pan. Pan is an effect that can pop a card on the field, and it says you can, so it's very particular.
Which means you have the choice whether you wish to do it or not to do it.
Absolutely. Urgula. Urgula is Urgula says that you can tuck it to the bottom of the deck and add a spellcaster back to your hand. So what I like to do is I like to just Arthalion add Azamina, and then Urgula add Lucius back to my hand. So I have 2 spellcasters in hand. So I basically just, like, I used them before, now I have them back for my next turn. That's what I like about Dracotail, is because it's a lot of recursion, like a lot of graveyard shuffling, and just, it's a really good draw engine. So now on to the spells. So 3 Ketu. This is also your searcher, and it's also a fusion spell if your opponent controls a monster. This can search any Dracotail monster. And if your opponent controls a monster, it fusion summons. 2 Rahu, mostly because it fusion locks you, and you don't really need to run 3. A lot of people are running 3. I run 2. It still works most of the time. Like in my main combo, I just set it, activate it, and then shuffle it back with like the trap when I activate that. So I just always have 2, so it's easier for me to run 2 of this, and this special is a Dracotail monster. It's kind of limited on what it can do, which is why I only run it at 2. 1 Flame, this is the spell negator, and it shuffles back a Dracotail card. Doesn't specify monsters, so most of the time if I activate this or the other trap, I just shuffle back Rahu and draw a card. So nice. It's just infinitely loopable. And then Horn. Most people don't fall for Horn. It's mostly there for normal summons. I find myself, it's not really that useful against special summons, because if they're smart, they'll just special summon it in defense mode, and then Horn doesn't do anything. But it absolutely destroys their normal summon. So now, on to the next engine. The other main part of the engine is Dragonmaid. So 2 Parlor, because this is how you get to Lady. And that's pretty much all it does, is it dumps any Dragonmaid card to the graveyard. If I was running more Dragonmaid cards, I could possibly dump the traps or anything like that. 1 Lorper to go with it, because you need this in order to make Lady. This ratio is good, I think, because I have like 5 archetypes in this deck, and like 2 is good enough. I still see it in almost every hand. 2 Chamber. Chamber is your spell searcher, spell and trap searcher. Chamber searches spells, any dragon made spell or trap. And of course, I have big one. Now, a cheaty way I use this is you can discard this and special summon from the grave. That's why it's useful. Most of the time, what I do is I will send it to the grave using hospitality to summon out chamber to make seals. Then I will use She-Owl to bring it back so that my fusion monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. That's or card effects. That's the other thing. It's like so they cannot be destroyed by card effects when this is on the field. All dragon fusion monsters. So it protects Arthalion and goes really well with the Dracotail stuff. Now for the spells. Changeover. Changeover can special any dragon fusion monster, which most of my deck is dragon fusion monsters, so it kind of works really well. And also, it has an effect that you can activate if it is in the graveyard and you have a dragon-made monster on the field. You can add this back to your hand and bounce that monster back to your hand. So you can just it too is loopable. Hospitality, as you can see, mine is QCR. So, hospitality says you summon a you bring one back from the graveyard and then you dump one that's another level but same attribute. So it's literally all I use it for is to get the seals. And tidying says I bounce a dragon monster and I bounce one of your cards. And it also has a graveyard effect that reborns a monster. Now on to the third engine. So that's only 2. So small branded engine. Branded. 2 branded fusion, because ban list. Good.
Back to 2.
Yep, back to 2. Branded fusion fuses into branded monsters, which I run 2 of. Then I don't know that much about branded, I just added it. 1 branded opening, that will special a Luber, which, you know, obviously, and then that will get you Fallen of Albaz. 1 Aluber, obviously, it's just a branded opening target. And then 1 Fallen of Albaz for mirror matches. It's so fun to just go cool, Owl the natives, fuse your whole board. Your board is gone. That is all for the branded. Now, on to one of the biggest engines. The other big engine is much bigger than the branded. So 1 Subversion. Subversion is just a cool card that just gets rid of shit. You just push it to the back row. Hollowed Azamina. 1 Hollowed Azamina. This is the fusion spell. Search it off Deception. And it fuses. And I will show you that when I get to the extra deck. 3 Wanted. I like this ratio. It works really well. I draw Wanted in almost every hand. It's great. 2 Deceptions. Because you only really need to run 2. Honestly, you don't really need to run 3. 2 is good enough. 2 Witch. This will set Deception. And then 1. It also has a bunch of other effects, but you know, you can figure that out when you play it. And then 1 Vengeance. And Vengeance is a board blow up, but also lets me cheat out Saint Azamina. Now on to the final engine. It's just bestial. So Druid Worm, obviously we all know what Druid Worm does. It's been in the meta forever. Druid Worm will send cards if it's sent from the field to graveyard. And it's also addable back with Arthalion and stuff. Baldrake on special summon monsters. Pops a dark. Most of my stuff is dark. And then it'll banish something. And then my Starlight Magnamute just got recently. It's so pretty. And then we all know what Magnamute does. Magnamute searches dragons, and most of my deck is dragons.
Motherfucker dodged yet another bullet.
He did indeed. Now, on to the hand traps.
I don't know what you're doing, Konami, but Magnemite needs to get on that ban list pretty soon.
Talents. No, don't say that, Eric. Talents, because it's at 1, because Konami doesn't like us. They don't like people to have fun. They don't like people to look at hands. Obviously, we all know what talents does. 1 thrust, because thrust is like, so much of my stuff is just searchable off of thrust, so it's really good to run it.
Yeah. You only need 1. 2 is just too bricky. Well, for me at least.
3 effect veiler. I mean, we obviously know what effect veiler does. 3 imperm. You know. 3 ash. These are just the basics. These are just like the basic 9 that everybody runs. And then 2 I'm running are 2 ghost spell, because most of the decks that I've been fighting are grave decks. So, and they kind of struggle against ghost spell.
Which does help combat against decks like, for instance, Yummy, K9 Cristrons.
Yep, K9. And then 2 Forbidden Droplet. I don't really feel the need to run 3, to be honest with you. 2 is good enough. I still see it in almost every hand. Now, on to the extra deck. So, show you the link package first. So the link package I'm running, Striker, because you have to add something, you have to make something.
Best Dragon Link.
Yup, best dragon ever, Mon's Quarter Century. Seals, because it's a non-target removal. SP, because that's just generic. And everybody runs that. Now, on to the fun stuff. Chew Lady, because this is your special summoner. Basically, it's just so easy to make, and I make it most of the time. 1 house, 1 Shio, because you only really need 1. You don't really need any more than that. Or at least, if you do, I can't run that many, because my extra deck is so packed. So, for the Sinful Spoils, targets Risilago. It is a 6, and if I was running, it's a 6, and it works really well with this deck. And it searches Wanted and Vengeance and stuff. Sylveon, Omni Negate. And then the last one, the Spicy Tech, because this deck can't really fight high power decks, so it kind of has to cheat them to win. Saint Azamina. And Saint Azamina says you can't target your own cards, and you can't target this card with effects. So you have to do non-targeting stuff like seals.
So you use Vengeance to get to Saint Azamina.
Absolutely. Now, for the Dracotail, I run 2 Arthalion. Arthalion is kind of your starter for this deck. You kind of make it just to add back stuff or bounce back stuff. My favorite thing to do is to just sacrifice my whole hand and bounce your whole board. Most of the time it doesn't work. It's fun to do, and it's irritating for my opponent, which makes it fun for me. And he's also recursion. He also adds back, so most of the time I make him first, and then I just go into Gulamel afterwards. Speaking of which, 1 Gulamel, because I don't really have room to run anything else. Gulamel is a pop when you activate a Dracotail card effect. That means spell, monster, anything. He doesn't care. As long as it says Dracotail card effect, and he'll pop something on the field. And for the branded engine, I'm only running 2, and 1 is in my side. Albion, the branded dragon. And I don't really know what the branded cards do. I'm not really familiar with them. I just put it in here because, funny. And Mirror Jade for mirror matches. And that is my list.
Alrighty. Well, seems like it
is definitely
a very big hot posh of a mess.
Oh yeah, it is definitely a clusterfuck.
But it seems to work well with you, and hopefully we'll see it in action in the next duel. So, catch you later, guys. Peace.